Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker. I'm the head trader here, but I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. So in today's video, we'll take a look at the economic data, we'll go over some news, we'll do a market recap, and then we'll look at the trading opportunities from today. So starting here on the economic data, we did have US initial jobless claims come out here at 245,000 with 240 forecasted, and we also had the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index come in at negative 31.3 with negative 19.2 expected. And we did have U.S. existing home sales come in at 4.44 million with 4.5 million expected. Now looking at the calendar, we don't have any significant economic data coming out tomorrow. And now we'll look at the earnings calendar. So some significant earnings that we had today, as you can see, Philip Morris, AT&T, American Express, Truist, Fifth Third, SVB, and Signature Bank. So now we'll look at some news. This is a chart from Redfin here showing the new home listings falling 23.3% year over year in March to its lowest levels on record here. As you can see, just a steep decline in new home listings. And this is the median sale price for a home in the U.S. falling 3.3% over the past year to $400,000, which is the largest year-over-year decline since 2012. And this is the strategic petroleum reserves here. As you can see, after a pause from early January through late March, the U.S. has again tapped the strategic petroleum reserves here down 3.6 million barrels over the last 3 weeks, down to its lowest levels here since October of 1983. And we do have new cars selling below sticker price for the first time in 20 months, according to Kelley Blue Book. And this is the top 20 stocks in the S&P 500, contributing to most of the return here. And, the top 20 stocks are accounting for about 90% of year-to-date returns in the S&P 500. And we did have the European Union today voting 517 to 38 in favor of a new crypto licensing regime, making it the first major jurisdiction in the world to introduce a comprehensive crypto law. Hopefully the U.S. will learn something from this. And we did have Starship launch today, which is the largest rocket to ever launch. As you can see, just gigantic here. But unfortunately, it did explode in the air minutes after takeoff. And Elon did come out and say that they'll try again in a couple more months. So now we'll do a market recap here. Starting in the debt market, we have the U.S. 10-year yield here getting a red day after getting rejected off that upper extreme yesterday and pulling down here into that midline. Looking at the dollar, we do have a red day here on the dollar, still kind of sitting up here, wicking off that midline here, just consolidating now at the lower end of this daily range. Stock market, we do have a green candle today, but as you can see, pretty red across the board here with had a pretty large gap down today, turning red here on the week. And Bitcoin, we do have a red day here, and Bitcoin breaking down through that midline after getting a pretty large red day yesterday, making its way down here towards the lower end of this structured price action here. And XRP did get a squeeze to the downside. As you can see, we had tight bands here. And then with the big red day, in Bitcoin and everything yesterday, we did end up squeezing down to the downside, pulling into this significant open and close here from the late end of March here. As you can see, the swing high here, turning red on the week here. I would expect maybe this to come down to this high right here. As you can see, this high from January here lining up with the midline. So that could be a place to watch for a area of support for the XRP price around this 43-cent level. So now we'll look at commodities. We do have another big red day here in oil. Breaking down through that midline, coming down to fill this gap here at about $75.69. Now we'll look at gold. We do have a green day here in gold, still consolidating here at the midline on the daily chart, getting kind of squeezed here on the daily. Now look at silver. Silver, we do have a small green day, not too much action to talk about here after wicking off that midline yesterday. So now we'll look at our trading opportunities from today. Start with our volume analysis on the S&P 500. As you can see, getting a vol spike today, getting up to that median right there, or that mean volume average, after getting a just pretty steady decline over the last couple days. It was super low volume, you know, most of the day, but a lot of this uh, volume came in at the end of the day. So we can look at the 5 minute here. So, you know, pretty similar price action to yesterday, you know, for, you know, most of the day. As, you know, yesterday we had that big gap down with just, you know, just strength throughout the day. And the same thing today, big gap down with a bunch of strength. But then here at around, you know, 130, we topped out about 130, and then we just get a massive sell-off. And that's where most of this volume came from, was this big sell-off here, and then just getting a, you know, pretty strong bounce, you know, into the close too. Two close above the open here right at VWAP. And we can zoom out a little bit more here so you can kind of see what's going on. So something I do want to point out here is this broadening wedge that I was talking about a couple videos ago that I drew out here on the SPY, which is a bearish reversal pattern. As you can see, we came down here, and it's pretty much kind of where we bounced off of down here with that lower extreme here on the 2-hour chart as well. But we do have a 2-hour squeeze here with downward momentum. So, you know, something definitely to watch out for. If we maybe start gapping down or getting below this, you know, lower trend line here on this 2-hour broadening wedge, I would maybe expect it to come down, you know, just to pull back in the S&P 500 here down to maybe this midline. You know, this midline is kind of lining up with this previous high from the beginning of March here. So, you know, that could be a target if this if the market does decide to, you know, take this 2-hour squeeze and squeeze to the downside here. But, you know, when it comes to the trades, I didn't really like this, you know, because we have a big gap down, which is bearish. We're below all the major moving averages. And then we get up here and we get above them all. And then we, you know, have this massive crash with a huge bounce. So when it comes to any trades on the SPY, I really didn't like it, you know. I've been looking to short this market, especially yesterday, but, you know, we just stayed strong the whole time. Especially after this price action we got yesterday, I didn't really feel comfortable shorting it because of how strong this was. But, you know, we finally did get a pretty big sign of weakness here. But we did have a nice bounce. So, you know, it's hard to really know. This market has been super choppy, super volatile. So, yeah, just definitely keep an eye on this 2-hour squeeze here with downward momentum. As you can see, flipping red here on the 1-hour momentum for the first time, you know, in quite some time here. So, yeah, definitely keep an eye on this bearish momentum and this, you know, larger time frame squeeze we here. I would expect this broadening wedge to play out pretty soon. You know, if not tomorrow, then, you know, next week. But yeah, with this kind of price action, I mean, the market was super low volume all day. There was nothing going on. I mean, I can just scan up here real quick through these top volume stocks. As you can see, I mean, just really just nothing. I mean, just garbage plays all day. You know, this is one of those days where it's like straight up like no trades. Like there was not a single trade I took today. I didn't like the SPY. I didn't like any of the large caps. I didn't like any of the small caps. I mean, today was just a no trade day. I mean, that's just how it is sometimes. You got to take what the market gives you, and today it did not give me nothing that I liked. But, you know, since we didn't have any trades, there was a chart I kind of want to point out that I kind of liked today that I noticed. Because AMD was kind of up here. It's not on the scanner anymore because it kind of sold off, but I was watching AMD today. As you can see, we didn't get any type of good squeeze or continuation. But I do want to point out the 2-hour chart here on AMD. As you can see here with this massive falling wedge here on AMD with a double bottom basically off the 50-day moving average with upward momentum and a squeeze on the 2-hour chart. So yeah, this is a pretty good looking chart here for maybe a breakout to the upside. But, you know, it really depends on the overall market if the market really does start breaking down to the downside. But if the market does hold or, you know, go up, you know, AMD could definitely be a stock to watch here with this big falling wedge with a upward momentum squeeze here on the 2-hour chart. We can look at the daily chart. It's still not above that midline. So, yeah, that's why I kind of want to wait, see if we kind of break out of that 2-hour, you know, this huge 2-hour downtrend we've been in that I just showed and start getting above this midline. If we start getting above that midline while breaking out of this big 2-hour falling wedge, I would expect a, you know, fairly nice move to the upside here out of AMD. As you can see, coming down here and getting pretty close to this, you know, weekly, not quite there, but, you know, we are down here into this lower extreme on the daily chart. And you can also notice this, that we are pulling into these highs from here back in February. So yeah, we are pulling into highs. We're at the lower extreme here. And as you can see, we have this large to falling wedge here with that squeeze. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on AMD. I always like trading AMD, you know. AMD and NVIDIA, they're two of my favorite stocks to trade. Because they always have like a lot of volume, a lot of option activity. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on that one. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about. I mean, today was just garbage. Today was just a grind, you know, not really anything, you know, anything good happening. You know, yesterday was kind of the same way. There was one trade yesterday. I know I didn't make a video yesterday, but there was like one decent trade yesterday, but you know, today really nothing with all the how the volume's been dying off here. But we did get a vol spike today. But as you see, the volume pretty split red and green here, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. We can look at the Qs so we can get kind of a, you know, deeper analysis on this. So as you see the Qs here, the Qs are sitting right here at that midline, right? So we can zoom out a little more, or zoom. As you can see, the Qs also have a 2-hour squeeze going on here to the downside. As you can see, squeezing to the downside here on the 1 hour. Not really the cleanest pattern of any type here on the Qs. Just kind of in this range here. As you can see, these highs and, you know, these lows down here, just kind of chopping sideways in this range. But we do have a squeeze as well here on the 2-hour chart with downward momentum, you know, on the 1 hour as well. So, you know, squeezes on the NASDAQ and the SPY here. So I would definitely expect some type of large move to happen here in the stock market coming up pretty soon. You know, tomorrow is the end of the week, so it might not be tomorrow. Tomorrow might just be kind of another consolidation day, but, you know, it definitely could be as well. We did get a vol spike today, as I just showed, so definitely keep a lookout because there's about to be, I think, in my opinion, some type of fairly large volatility event here in the stock market. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to go over today. So yeah, appreciate y'all watching the video, and I will talk to y'all later.